Oenothera, biennis. The nickname for this plant is bananas. This is part 1, and in part 2 I'll be sharing a mnemonic or memory technique to help you commit to memory the most distinguishing characteristics of this plant for identifying purposes. Be sure to watch all of part 1 so that part 2 is understandable. It is a weedy plant, very leafy. Grows up to 7 or 8 feet tall at maturity. Stands very erect. The flowers are bright yellow, and they develop on long clusters or racemes. The flowers bloom or the racemes occur atop the stem or stems. The leaves basically cover the stem. They will appear to be in clusters. But they actually alternate along the stem. They are not opposite. Flower buds are reddish or green. The leaves are lance-shaped. They are larger and more wide, closest to the bottom of the plant, and they grow smaller and more narrow as they ascend the stem. This plant grows from out of a first year rosette of leaves, a circular formation of leaves which lie close to the ground. And in the second year, the stalk grows and develops into what we see here. Notice how the flowers are more showy or only appear at the top. Flower buds, they grow in an area where the leaf stalk meets the stem. Flower buds are green in this example. Like I said before, they can also appear reddish. This is the first example of how the flower buds peel back and under when the flower blooms. This plant can branch at the top. The leaves can sometimes be slightly hairy. The stem can be reddish in color or green. Notice the flower buds here. This is actually where the plant derives its nickname from, bananas. For it is long. These flower buds can be up to 1.5 inches long. The sepals. There are 4 sepals, which again peel back to expose the flower. The flowers remain open from evening to early morning. They'll remain open longer on cloudy days. They have a very mild lemony scent. The flowers can be 1 to 2 inches wide when fully opened. This plant grows from out of a very fleshy taproot. The leaves are lance-shaped to elliptical shaped. Elliptical is the shape of a football, essentially. The figure here on the right represents the flower in the phase of developing seed pods. They turn brown. Fleshy taproot, lance-shaped to elliptical-shaped leaves. The leaves can be smooth around the edges. They can be wavy around the edges. They are typically wavy themselves or curl. They may also have very shallow teeth. I'll show you a picture of that in a later slide. In the open, the bananas plant usually bears one stem. They can sometimes develop multiple stems, which will give the plant a very bushy appearance, as we see here in this picture. Again, up to 8 feet tall. Flowers develop from out of a raceme or cluster of flowers, which occur atop the stem or stems. The petals can be up to 1 inch long. In this case, we see flower buds which are reddish. Incidentally, bananas can be yellow, they can be green, and they can be reddish in color. A close-up picture of the flower bud, which are actually just 4 sepals that peel back like a banana that is peeled. The seed pods or the flower buds are hairy. There are 4 petals. And there are 8 stamen. There's only 1 pistil. The stigma of the pistil is in the shape of a cross, which we see here in this picture. This is a better picture or another picture of the 8 stamen, the pistil with the cross-shaped stigma. First year rosette. The midrib of the leaves are distinctly white. They can also be very distinctly pink. Another rosette. White midribs in this example. This picture shows us the shallow, very shallow teeth around the edges. This is another example. This is a more narrow leaf, which is an indication that it is closer to the top of the plant, for the leaves are more wide and large near the bottom of the plant, and they become smaller and more narrow as the leaves ascend the stem. The stem can be green or reddish in color. The stem is also covered with stiff white hairs. This is an example of one of its lookalikes of the same genus. When you are identifying the bananas plant, remember again that they are smooth around the edges. They can be wavy around the edges and slightly toothed, but certainly not deeply toothed as we see in these examples. A close-up of a inflorescence, which in botany is defined as a cluster of flowers. This particular inflorescence is referred to as a raceme, central stem, branching out laterally from the stem, clusters, multiple flower buds, which are green in this case. This gives you some perspective of the size. Central stem of the raceme, branching off laterally. Flowers, light lemony scent. Flower buds, 4 sepals. You can see the tip of the sepals if you look closely. And they do what? They peel back like a banana to expose the yellow, bright yellow, or banana colored flowers. Seed pods. The seeds are brown. They are irregular in shape and very tiny. And there are many, many seeds. Gives you some perspective here of the size. The edible parts of this erect, leafy, weedy plant are the leaves, the stems, seed pods, the seeds, the flowers, flower buds, and the root. Essentially, the entire plant. To learn how to prepare these parts for edibility purposes and for medicinal purposes for that matter, visit survivalplantsmemorycourse.com and click on the Oenothera biennis link, evening primrose, or nickname bananas. This has been part 1, and in part 2 I'll be sharing a mnemonic or memory technique to help you commit to memory the most distinguishing characteristics of this plant for identifying purposes. Thank you for watching.